Hello everyone, welcome back to Andrina's Creations. Today's tutorial, I'm going to be showing you all about 3D cardstock letters. I'm going to break down these videos into 4 different parts just so it won't be so long. And each part is going to show you something different. Today is going to be part 1 on how to make the inserts for your shaker 3D letters. The insert is the inside part right here where you see the images on. That's going to be the insert that I'll be showing you how to make in part 1. I'll be letting you know about all the supplies around part 3 because right now we're just going to focus on creating the insert, and then part 2 is going to be about designing, and then part 3 we are going to assemble the shaker letters and we are going to put them together, and then part 4 you're going to learn how the M and the N is. They're not shakers, it's just regular 3D letters. So I hope you enjoy this long video. I'm so excited for you guys to learn, so let's get started. All right, so once you build your box, you're going to, or your 3D letter, I'm sorry, you're going to see that it's going to be this thick. If you do not want it to be this thick, meaning that this is how deep it will be for all your shaker stuff to go in here, I don't want mine to be that deep. Now, again, it is total preference. You can do it however you want. So if you add the top like this, I'm also going to show you how to do this layer right here. This will be up here, and then you're able to see all your shaker moving inside, all your beads, all your stuff in there, right? But that's a lot. To me, that's too deep. So what I'm going to be showing you in part 1 is how to create this insert. So you're just going to add this in here. Be adding this in here, and then you don't have so much. See? All right, again, you could create it however you want, but part 1 I'm gonna be showing you how to make this part, and I'm also going to show you how to do all this. All right, so let's get started with how we're going to do all this. Okay, once you open up your software, you need to set up your paper size. Now, y'all all know I use Silhouette Studio Business Edition version 4.4. I highly recommend Business Edition because you are able to use all the icons on the software, but you are also able to use Basic Edition. Basic Edition is free, and the great part about this software is that you do not need a cutting machine to use this software. I do have a separate video on how to download the Basic Edition. It's free. Check down below for that link. And if you want to purchase Business Edition, which is a one-time payment, also check down below for my affiliate link to Swing Design. Swing Design usually runs sales. The original price of Business Edition is $100, but on Swing Design you could get it much cheaper from $60, and sometimes they even have it lower. And again, it is a one-time payment. Again, I have Silhouette Business Edition version 4.4. Depending on the cardstock size that you have, you must change the media size. How will you do that? You will go all the way to your right, and it is your first icon that looks like a piece of paper. If you do not know the names of your icons, if you put your mouse over each icon, you are going to see the name. So the first icon, your page setup, you're going to click on it where it says media size. Change it to the size of paper. I am going to be using 12 by 12 cardstock. As you can see, my mat looks white. Some people have their transparency on 100, but I like mine on 0. So that is a preference. When you are designing in Silhouette, you are able to design all around, meaning that this is the zoom button, and the zoom out button is the plus sign and the minus sign. If I zoom out, I have all this area here to work on. I do not have to specifically only work on the mat. When I'm ready to cut or print, everything has to be on the mat. Otherwise, you can work all around. You first need to purchase the template, and I purchased the template from Etsy. Her name is Nilmara Quintela, and you could get the SVG templates for $18. I highly recommend her templates. You get all the alphabet, and you also get some accents, and you get all the numbers, all for $18, and they are compatible with Silhouette and Cricut. Again, I don't know how you will do this with Cricut, but there is other tutorials here on YouTube on how to learn to make these letters with Cricut. Once you purchase them, you save them to your computer. Now you're ready to go. Once you're in Silhouette, you're going to go to File, you're going to go to Merge, and you are going to look for wherever you save them files. I have a separate a separate folder specifically just for the 3D block letters. I click on the folder. I'm going to click where it says letters. She has 3 folders. It's accents and signs, letters and numbers. I'm going to click on the letters, and I'm going to select the letter that I want to use. I'm going to be doing the letter A. I clicked on the A. Then you have all these formats: DFX, PDF, SVG. I'm going to double click on the SVG one. When you double click on the SVG, she has 2 different ones. She has single line score and dash line score. I'm going to click on the one that's dash line score and click on OK. Here's your template. I'm going to click here on my screen, drag my mouse and select the entire template. I'm going to go to my fill panel on my right. That looks like a paint palette. And I'm going to color it just so that I can see it on the screen. So this is all the pieces that you are going to need to create a normal A. But we want to make this as a shaker. First thing you need to do is you need to size your template depending on the size that you want to cut it. Again, I have clicked here on my screen. I dragged my mouse to select the entire template. I did not group it. How do you know that your entire template is selected? Is you're going to see a rectangle all around your pieces. You're going to drag your template from a corner, not from the middle, not from the top, not from the bottom, from a corner, and you're going to pull it to expand the entire template together. And this way you're not distorting the size. This way everything's staying normal. But if you pull from the sides like this, you're distorting the template. Here is the undo button. It's the backwards arrow, and I undo that. Now I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to pull as big as this as big as this piece fits on the 12 by 12. The longest piece. You always go by the longest piece of the template to make sure everything stays in the 12-inch mark. You're going to size them on the size of your choice. Now, if you're doing more than one letter, I recommend bringing in all the letters. So let's say I'm doing the word Amani for this order. I will start bringing in all the letters at once. If I go back to my first document, you can see I have all the letters. And while I'm sizing one template, I'm making sure that all my letters are staying in the same size, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to leave my A at 7, and you're going to click on this A. As you can see, the second A has these little dots and triangles and squares. That's so you know exactly where these pieces go. So if you see this circle is, you're going to start gluing it up here. The one with the square, you're going to start gluing it down here. So these are just little marks that she puts here so you can know exactly where to start gluing. I left my template, if I click on this A, at 7.6. You cannot click on this A because then you're taking the measurement, including that dot up here, and it's giving it an extra height. So don't do that. Click on this one that doesn't have those extra shapes. And I left mine at 7.6, but you are going to leave yours on any size of your choice. When you see that some of these parts are too big sometimes to fit this way, you can easily rotate them using the little green button, and they will fit even more. Okay, I'm going to undo. Now let's get ready to create that insert. Now, do not start cutting these up. You do need these pieces, so I highly recommend clicking on the first A that doesn't have those shapes. Right click and duplicate it. I'm going to color it white. I'm just here at the fill panel and I colored it white. All these pieces here, I'm going to right click, duplicate it, and I'm going to color it a different color. So I know that these do not touch. These are the ones that I'm going to be touching. So all I did was I duplicated the A and I duplicated this. You just right click and duplicate. Now I'm going to zoom in. If you have never used Silhouette Studio, I highly recommend doing this one step if you're a beginner. I have mentioned this in all my other tutorials, so if you're not a beginner or you have watched me before, you already know this step. Go down here on your preferences. It's all the way in the bottom right. You're going to click on it. You're going to click on Tools, and where it says after creating a shape, after drawing freehand, all these, click choose to select. Because if you do not do that, every time you create a shape, your mouse is going to continuously draw a shape. If you use the knife tool, it's going to continuously use the knife tool until you press the arrow. And as a beginner, you're going to get confused. After you select everything, choose to select, click on apply, click on OK. All right? Don't forget that. Once you do that step, you never have to do it again. Okay. I am going to zoom in. And as you can see, the score marks, right? You're going to go to your left. You're going to grab the knife tool. Make sure up here the knife tool says straight. And I have the auto apply checked. All right? It's on straight. And the auto apply is on checked. I'm going to hold down my shift key so when I'm cutting, it stays straight. So I have my shift key hold down. And I'm going to try to go right at my score marks. I cannot start from here. I have to start from the outside so I can cut it. So I'm going to start here. And I'm using my little wheel on my mouse to scroll all the way down. I have not let go of the shift key. I'm going to let go of my mouse, let go of the shift key, and I'm going to zoom out. And as you can see, I cut these pieces. And these are the tabs that we are going to be using. I'm going to select all the extra stuff out of here, and I'm going to click delete on my keyboard. As you can see, this piece has that little piece here. So I'm just going to click on it, right click, release compound path, and remove that little piece and click delete on my keyboard. This tab, I am going to put it right close to the A. You might have to extend them just a little bit. And you can zoom in. You need to make sure that the tabs are touching the white part, okay? Use your arrow keys on your keyboard to know that they are touching. Do not go all the way in. They just need to be touching. That's it. As soon as it touches, let it go. I am not grouping it yet either. This piece goes up here. This has a green button here that you can rotate. I am going to select this tab, right click, duplicate, right click, and flip horizontal. And then I'm going to add this one on the other side. Use your arrow keys to try to align everything. Now you're going to do the same thing with this one. This is the one with the square. This is the pieces that go under here. You're going to zoom it in. You're gonna grab the knife tool. You're gonna try to go right where the score marks are. Hold your shift key and click. See, I'm not at the score mark, so I had to go up and let it go and do it again. See how I was too far apart? So no, I'm gonna undo, undo, and undo. I'm gonna hold my shift key and rotate this one. Right click and duplicate. So in the zoom in button, you have the plus sign, zoom out is the minus, and right next to the minus, you have the mouse that has like another zoom in. If you click on the mouse one and click where you want it to zoom in, it's going to zoom in exactly where you want it. When you have pieces that are almost all together, do not let none of the pieces touch. And I will tell you why later on. They're only supposed to be touching the white. All right, you are done adding all your tabs. Now you have to add your score marks so you know where your machine, so the machine will know where to score and you know where to fold, right? Again, nothing is grouped yet. I don't like to group it yet, and I know everyone works different, so you're going to do what works for you. Make sure that you have deleted anything extra, like all them little score marks that you left behind. How do you know if you left anything behind? You're gonna click somewhere on your screen and just drag your mouse like you're selecting something. If you don't see that nothing's getting picked up, that means that your screen is cleared. I am going to zoom in. Now, Silhouette and Cricut are different. We do not use a scoring tool in Silhouette. We can actually create a line and turn our line into score marks, and the way Silhouette cuts, it cuts cut line. So it's going to cut, skip, cut, and skip. Versus Cricut, they have an embossing tool, but they can also use cut score marks without an embossing tool. I'm going to show you both ways here. And the reason why I'm showing you is because if you do have Silhouette Business Edition, you can actually create everything here, follow everything I'm telling you, and then you're going to save this as an SVG, and then you're going to open it in Cricut. You are only able to save it as an SVG if you have Business Edition, okay? So I'm going to show you how we do it. I'm going to go here on my left, and I'm going to go to the line. I'm going to click on the line, and I want to grab the straight line. I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to hold my shift key, and I'm going to make a line right where the green and the white connects. And I'm using my wheel on my mouse to scroll down. Let me zoom in. I have the line right where it meets, so I'm actually gonna have to move the line a little bit to the left. I want it exactly where they meet. While my line is selected, I'm going to go to my right and click on my line style. It's the one under the pink palette. Where it says style, I'm going to click on the dashes. And as you can see, they will turn into a score mark. And I'm going to zoom out. How would you do it for Cricut? You're going to grab the line, and you're going to grab the line and the straight line. You're going to hold your shift key so it can stay straight. I'm going to color it white so I'm going to color that line white so y'all can see it. Right? While that line is selected, you're going to go to your replicate panel, and you're going to click duplicate to the left or the right. And then you're going to click on your arrow keys so it can separate like that. And then again. See? And you're creating your score marks. Then you will select them all, right click and group them together, and you're going to add them wherever you want them to go on your insert, okay? And then you save it as an SVG for Cricut. But I'm not doing all that. I'm just doing it for Silhouette. All right. So we added this first score line. And I want to show you something. If my green tab does not touch my white part, so I'm going to move a little bit to the left so you can see. I'm going to click on my green tab, hold the shift key, click on the white letter, go to my modify panel and click on weld. You will see that there is a line. That means this is never was connected. That's why I mean, always make sure that your tabs are connected. So now I'll click the green tab, click on the white, right click and weld. And see, there is no line, only my score marks. Another tip is, do not lay your score marks all the way to the edge, because remember, this is a little tiny cut line, and if you have it right here at the edge, then that paper is going to get cut right there. So do not have it really close to the edge. So I'm actually going to bring it down a little. I'm going to click on the score mark, right click and duplicate it, and I'm going to put it on the other side. Click on the green tab, hold the shift key, click on the white 8, right click and weld. Go to my lines, and I'm going to repeat the same steps over. Okay, just because I'm a little OCD, and I'm gonna leave it like this so y'all can see it. You see how these don't connect there? I don't like that. So I'm going to undo that weld. Undo right here is this arrow. And I'm actually going to bring this tab there. And if you accidentally move something when you're trying to grab something like that, just go back to the undo, okay? Don't panic. Just make sure you have the right thing selected. As you can see, I clicked on something and my score marks are not the one selected. It's my entire template. So I need to make sure I see that rectangle on my score marks. Now it's selected. See, this one wasn't connected because I see a line. So just undo, unselect everything, click on the green tab and click my arrow key to my right just one time, and then weld it again. Don't go over too much. Just if you see that it's not attached, just click on the arrow key one time. The reason why I told you at the beginning to do not let these tabs touch, I'm actually gonna do it right now. I'm gonna let it touch and then I will undo. Gonna click and I'm going to weld. You see, it created one entire shape here, and you don't want that. You want 3 individual tabs. So let me undo. See that line there? That's its own tab, and these are its own tabs. To create this line here, I'm not going to hold the shift key. I'm just going to go as close as possible as I can. And I'm actually gonna do it again. Click delete on my keyboard. See how these score lines are too close? It's actually gonna cut that out. So I'm just gonna click on my score mark and close it up or make it a little bit smaller. You see how you see that line? That means it's not connected. Just undo and make sure everything's connected. If you're still watching while I'm doing this, let me know how much have y'all been learning with my latest videos. I hope I'm inspiring you guys to not feel intimidated with Silhouette Studio. I know it takes a lot of practice, but whenever you have time, Just go ahead and keep practicing. I believe in you. Like, it took me many months and many years to know what I know now. So don't feel like, oh my God, it is too hard. Just follow along exactly what I'm doing, and you too can do exactly the same thing as everybody. And what I'm doing right now, is this something new that y'all are learning, or did y'all already know how to do this? All right, you are done. Now we need to group everything. If I go ahead and move this A, nothing is grouped. Okay, so I'm gonna undo. I'm gonna click here on my screen. I'm going to drag my mouse and select everything. I'm actually gonna hold down my shift key and just click on the A, just so my score marks are selected. I need to make sure I look over everything and that these score marks are not so close to the edge. So forget that step that I told you how to group. I'm not even grouping them yet. Gotta double check these score marks. All right, again, gonna click here on my screen, select my entire A. How do you know everything's selected? Again, you see the rectangles all around. Gonna hold my shift key, click on the A, so I unselect the A. I'm going to right click. No, I grab the A again. I'm going to, and only my score marks are not grouped. So if I move my score marks, they are all grouped together. Let me undo that. And now I'm going to select everything and group it again. I just like to do that. It's just me. All right, so now this A is complete done. This is your insert, okay, where the shaker is going to go. Now you also need to create what's going to go inside of this A that you're going to put your images on for people to see inside of your shaker. So you're going to click back on this A, right click, duplicate it. I'm going to change the color. And I always like to size these 3 points down, if that makes sense, just because I don't want it to be so tight on here. Right now is exactly the same size. If I zoom in, it will fit right in the score marks, as you can see. But I don't like it to be so tight, so I'm going to bring it down just a little bit. And how would you do that? Just depending on the measurements that you have, you're going to go down 3. And I hope this makes sense. So right now, my width is at 5.456. 5.456, right? I'm going to go down just 3, not on the 5, on the 4-5. I'm going to go down 3. So 45 minus 3 is 42. But don't forget it's 456, so don't forget that 6. I hope I'm not confusing you. So it will be 5.426. 5.426 and enter. And my height right now is 7.638. So 63 minus 3, I am going to go down 3. So then I'm going to put 7.608. 7.608 and enter. And now this is just a little bit smaller than your score marks, so it's not so tight in there. All right, and you can go down a little bit more if you choose to, but I'm going to leave it just like that. And I colored it a different color just so you know this is the insert that's going to go in here. Now you need to create a piece that is going to go in the front of your letter that is going to be see-through to look inside. The first step that you need to do is you need to make a rectangle to measure your tabs. And you're going to do this with every single letter of the alphabet, because remember, when we size the template at the beginning, not all your letters are going to be exactly the same size. One might be 7.5, the other one might be 7.6. So on the height. So you need to make sure you do this with all of them. So you're going to grab a rectangle on your left, grab a rectangle. I'm going to zoom in, and you see right at the score mark, I'm going to start my rectangle there and drag it to the end of the tab. I'm going to color it black. So this is what we created, right? I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to grab that A, the original A, right click and duplicate it. This rectangle that we created, I'm going to right click and bring it to the front. And I'm going to click here on my screen, select both, drag my mouse and select both. I'm going to go to my transform panel and align it to my right, so it's right there at the corner. This is just a guide, so I know how much to go in for my internal offset. Now I'm going to let go of everything, click somewhere else on my screen, so nothing selected. I'm only going to click on my A, go to my offset panel and click on internal offset. And you see right now the corners are rounded. I don't want them to be rounded. I want them to be square. So where it says corner, I'm going to click so they could get square. And where it says distance, I'm going to go up. I'm going to continue to go up until I see this line a little bit more, this line like touching the end of until this line touches the end of this black rectangle, or a little bit more in further. Okay, so I'm going to keep on. You see? That's how much in I went. You don't have to go that much in. I just choose you just to make sure everything, you can't see it. And then I'm going to remove this rectangle. I'm going to click on the internal A. And I'm going to color it so y'all can see it. I'm going to click here on my screen, drag my mouse to select my original A and my internal A. I'm going to go to my modify panel and click on subtract all. It might look like nothing happened, but if you click somewhere else on your screen to unselect everything, click on the black A, click delete on your keyboard, and now you are left with this. You don't need that rectangle guide anymore as well. And now this piece is what's going to make you look inside of your shaker. So you can put this right here. And now all your pieces for your A is done. Now I highly recommend saving this. Save it, because if you are in my Facebook crafting group, you know that this is like my 5th time creating it, because it accidentally deleted while I was recording it, and the entire thing deleted from my computer. And usually in Silhouette you can recover files, but this time it did not let me recover. So get into the habit, guys, of probably every 20 minutes while you are working to save it. But regardless, save this, because when you have to do another 8 for another customer, you don't have to do all these steps again. So how you're going to save it? You're going to go to File. You're going to go to Save As, Save to Hard Drive. Go to that folder where you have all the letters. Click on letters. Click on the letter A. Click on the SVG part. And I'm going to leave it as a Silhouette file. And I'm going to name it Shaker Letter A. Click on OK, and this is saved. So whenever I'm going to do a shaker letter A, I don't have to keep doing those same steps. Now, if you have a Cricut and you have Business Edition, you're going to go to File, you're going to go to Save As, Save to Hard Drive. Where it says Save As Type, click on the SVG, and you're going to name it, shake a letter A, and then you click on OK and save it, and then you are able to go open up Cricut first. First, you need to open Cricut. After you open Cricut, you're going to go to upload. When you click on upload, you go to browse and upload this file. You cannot just click on it and it's going to automatically open in Cricut. That's not how it's going to work. You need to first open up Cricut, then go to upload. All right. Now, this is the end of part 1. I hope you guys understood everything here. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe if you are new here. Don't forget to click on the notification bell to get notified every time I upload new videos. Please give me a big thumbs up, and don't forget, if you're not in my crafting group, Andrina's Kreations Crafting Lounge, feel free to go ahead and join that group. You do need to answer all 3 questions to get approved. And as always, I always tell you guys, have a blessed day and stay tuned for part 2. Bye-bye.